I'm an intimacy sex therapist, and because I work with a urologist at Baylor College of Medicine, a lot of the clients that I work with are men. And it's extremely sad to me when I see 23, 24, 25-year-old men coming into my office. They can no longer achieve an erection normally without porn. Porn changes your brain chemistry, and like it or not, it happens and it's destroying a lot of marriages. More and more couples are coming in saying how porn is ruining their intimacy. Now, the reason for this sort of makes sense. I mean, men are still predominantly the biggest users of digital porn, and although women use it, women view different things than men do. It's much more addictive to men too, because men have testosterone, and the testosterone is what makes you seek new variability. And it's after a while, you can have sex virtually with all these people and you lose yourself in it. Many of these men who come in feel really bad about what's going on, but they understand that sexually they are numb towards their partner. They no longer know how to be a good lover in real life. So if you're wondering if porn is hurting your marriage, I've got some ideas of the way it does. And it doesn't happen all at once. It happens subtly. It's just like it infests it. It infests it by breaking apart different areas of the relationship that are vital to keeping it going. And so here's the first one. It breaks trust. I mean, basically, most porn users do not share it with their partner, or they make it, if they do share it, it's not in the way that the couple sits down and watches something they're both interested. It's a fact that the guy is okay with watching it and the wife doesn't know what to do, so she allows it. But many times what the man does is he feels shameful about it, so he'll shut the screen down when he's using it, or he'll go in a place where she can't contact him, or he doesn't respond to her contacts, and she will assume he's watching porn. So she begins feeling less trustful of him. You can't trust somebody who is addicted to a substance, no matter what it is, porn being one of those. Okay, and you start keeping secrets. When your partner's using porn, you begin living another life as the partner of that. The man is keeping secrets because he's hiding it, and the female, many times, what she ends up doing is confiding in friends, and friends have friends, and emotional affairs happen on her side more than likely during a partner or a couple who is experiencing porn. Okay, the second thing, it decreases satisfaction. As the reason these guys are coming in, they can no longer satisfy their partner. And if you're the partner of someone using porn, you begin feeling less respected. You begin feeling less like there's no satisfying, because sex with your partner is different now. They've lost the ability to be intimate. They've lost the ability to be vulnerable. None of those things are used on porn. When you're watching porn, you're not vulnerable. You're not sharing. Well, if you don't practice that with your real life partner, you lose it. And after a while, the brain chemistry just changes and you just cut to the chase. You don't need it anymore. But unfortunately, your partner does need it. And in a marriage, you really need it. And so when that's gone, it's like another foundation piece, a major foundation piece being removed from the marriage. It obstructs emotional intimacy. When you are viewing porn, your partner feels terrible. They feel terrible about themselves. They start doubting their ability to get you excited. They doubt their vulnerability. They start comparing themselves to other women. When you do have sex with them, as I mentioned earlier, you have sex in a different way. It's not lovemaking anymore. It's just a performance. Get it over with. And it's just not connected. And because you don't have that emotional connection, which is the glue of the relationship, the partner of the porn addict begins looking outside for other potential partners. It creates unrealistic expectations. If you're thinking that a woman's going to be turned on by you just by seeing you, you're wrong. I mean, women are turned on for many different reasons, not on porn. They're there for one thing. They're there to turn you on. That's what they do for a business. But a wife or a partner is not that way. They need all of you. They need to share visions. They need to share values. They need to have boundaries. They need to know the marriage is sacred. In a sacred marriage, there is no place for porn. Porn is infidelity. Porn is betrayal. And porn is ruining your relationship by this point. If you're having expectations that your partner's going to be like a porn star and your partner's feeling less in love with you, less desired by you, they quit trying even more. Sex becomes more cut and dry. You miss the foreplay, you miss the playing around, you miss the vulnerability, the sharing. Sex is hollow at this point between the couple. It decreases self-esteem. It decreases self-esteem in the porn user because you're hooked when all addicts have terrible self-esteem, terrible confidence. That's why they need a crutch. That's why they're addicts. The female or the partner of the porn addict is also losing self-esteem. She's losing self-esteem in her beliefs of the marriage. She's losing self-esteem in her body. She's losing self-esteem in her own sexual desire, her libido, and soon neither partner is interested in sex with each other. It's important to understand at this point, if you don't get therapy, if you don't make an intervention, if you don't go to a porn rehab center, you're not going to be able to keep this marriage. It's taken the cornerstone out. I mean, there's not going to be, the marriage is going to be in name only, and those don't do well. There's no substance to make it last. Now, what to do if this is your issue? I'm just going to go through quickly a few things that I think are really important. When I'm doing therapy, I work through these with the client. The first one, you need to start a conversation. You need to start a conversation talking about this. You needs to be brought, it's a big white elephant in a room, needs to be brought to a place of honesty, a space between the two of you where you open the discussion. It's important at this point you make no accusations, you make no lines in the sand. You begin by talking about it, what is happening, how you're nervous about what it's doing to your relationship. This is a time when you talk about what are your options. How can you work as a team to resolve this? You make it very clear that the judgments are not going to be part of this. How you feel about this, how this violates your value, how this violates your faith, any of those things. I don't want you to judge your partner at this point. Your partner, if they're a porn addict, is sick. And although they may be in denial of the intensity of the sickness, if they're able to discuss it and they can see that you're going to be on their team many times, that's enough to encourage them, to motivate them to get help. Ask questions. Ask as many questions and have a notebook so you can jot it down. Two of you are going to seek professional help. It's important that you know everything about it, what's going on, so that you can intercept it and hopefully make some changes going forward. You are going to need therapy. You may need a porn rehab center, but it's important that you both are very clear about what it's happening, when it's happening, the feelings that precipitates it, and the feeling after it happens. And lastly, own your feelings. This is the time when you say, well, this violates my faith. This violates our wedding vows. This violates my values. And and I need to do something. And for our marriage, we need to do something. And this is when you begin an action plan. The action plan should begin with a therapist. A therapist has guidance. They know where you can go for rehab to porn. They know how to start working to limit the porn. They can work with you to clear up the confusion, see how much of your marriage it's destroyed, and move forward in a healthier manner. If you have children, I think it's extremely important that you try at this point to talk to the therapist and talk with them about the possibility of keeping the marriage healthy and strong while dealing with this as well. So if this is you, before you feel shameful, before you start shaming, please sit down, talk about it, and get help.